Okay, we're back. It's been another 10 minutes, so it's been boiling with the cover on under low heat, but still boiling for a good 20 minutes at this point. So again, we're going to check this. We're looking for the fork to go in really easy, like it would go in soft butter. When you do take off the lid, don't look down into the pan because the steam will burn your face. You take the lid off, look away, let the steam come up, and let's see. Oh, very nice, very nice. Should almost be almost the weight of the fork will actually go, right through the squash. Let's see if we can almost see this. It's going to be hard to kind of show you, but I mean, you're going to be putting the fork in, and just almost the weight of the fork all by itself is going, right into the squash. So check all the pieces. Check big pieces. This one's still a little tough. That one's fine. Check a couple of them. Don't just check one. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I would say that looks really nice. Really nice. Okay, very nice. Very nice. Very easily goes in. Okay, so I would say that these are probably all done at this point. So the next thing we got to do, obviously, is dump the water out. And we really, really want to get the water out of this as much as possible. In fact, if you have a colander, which I think we do have, that probably would be the best way to do this. If you don't have a colander, then just keep the lid on as best you can. Okay, colander, this thing is with holes in it. Okay, so we're going to put that in, and I'm going to dump this in the colander. So let's go back here really quick. Okay, we're back at the sink. I'm going to put our colander in the sink. Okay, and then we're just going to dump this all in here. Again, don't look at it because you get the steam in the face. Dumped out. Look at that. Gone. Water. Take the colander. Hopefully don't get any soap on this. Put it back in the pan. Okay, beauty. Now, we are ready for the ingredients. Now, this is steaming hot right now. So, ideally, you want to put this back maybe on the stove again. Not on the hot burner, obviously. Let's get that closed off. Let's get this lid out of here. Okay, I'm going to put this pan on this burner, which is not hot. Okay, right here. Okay, so we got our pan here. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, I'm going to turn this light off a little bit here, just so we don't have so much glare. Okay, so we're ready to go here. The next ingredients are butter, cinnamon, and nutmeg, and a potato masher. So hopefully you have one of these guys here. This is just your basic, smasher, masher kind of thing. Get some butter. And butter is going to make this really taste good. Now remember, so here's my butter. So you can see on these things, butter has, some gradients, and it says, 1 teaspoon. Each one of these little marks is like a tablespoon of butter. So butter is something that's just kind of, I don't really measure it. I just kind of like, okay, maybe 2 tablespoons of butter, which would be, according to this, 2 of these marks on the butter would be 2 tablespoons. Those marks right there. Again, I'm just kind of looking at how much squash I got in there. For that little squash, maybe 2 tablespoons of butter, which is, it's about that thick, a little thicker than a finger and a half of thickness. Just throw that right in the hot squash, and just take a potato masher and mash it into the hot squash. Okay. Just pushing it down and mashing it. You want to get that all mixed in. Shouldn't see any butter left when you get done. Okay. Now butter is basically fat. And squash has no fat in it, so what you're doing is adding the fat to make it taste better. Okay, so the next ingredients, that's all mashed up. You can see if we can see in there at all. Let me see. So it's kind of like, you know, all mashed up and stuff like that. Looks really good, smooth, creamy. Everything you want in squash. So the next things are cinnamon, ground cinnamon. Okay, some ground cinnamon here. And I also put a little bit of nutmeg in there. It gives it that, you know, wintry taste to it. So we have a little ground nutmeg right here. Okay. Now cinnamon, again, I don't measure this stuff. But I just take the cinnamon. Oh, this one's going to cover. Oh, okay. So you want to keep the shaker top on for the cinnamon. So you got the shaker top on. And I generally kind of, you know, put a bunch of cinnamon in here. You know, I'm like, you know, shake, 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 kind of like all over the top. And it looks like a lot, but cinnamon, you know, really isn't that bad. So if you look at this thing, I don't know if I can get this in here, in the video here. Let's see if we can get under the light. So you can see maybe how much cinnamon is in there. So, you know, quite a bit. I mean, you can kind of see, you know, pretty much, you know, the whole pan is kind of filled with cinnamon in the center. And you can even smell it, and that's always a good indicator. You know, you should be able to smell that cinnamon coming right off the squash. So I'm going to mix up all that cinnamon. And it's actually going to turn this to a slightly darker color. That's okay. Okay, and then I will just put a touch of nutmeg in there, because nutmeg is really pretty strong. Again, keeping the shaker top on this thing. You know, don't take it off. So just, this one's actually kind of lighter. This is just a little bit. And I don't even know if you can see that in there, but I'll try to get into the light again. You know, it's hard to see what's on this thing. But just a little bit. Nutmeg is really strong. And you can do it to taste. Mix that all in there. Okay, this is just about done. Okay, now comes the taste test. So let's see what we got. Grab your spoon, that's the ultimate test. Not too bad. Now, one of the things, now, if it tastes a little watery to you, part of that is you probably didn't bring enough water out of it, or there's just a lot of water content, or also the squash is a very young squash. Older squash, you know, almost with like bruises on it is better because it's aged, it's really got a lot of flavor. This one is a little watery, so I am going to put a little more butter in just to give it a little, you know, better taste. So I took another tablespoon of butter, mix that up in there. Okay, let's see what we got. Well, I don't know. This squash tastes just a little watery to me. I think I'm going to try just a little more butter here. So if I basically put in almost 4 tablespoons of butter, yeah, 4 tablespoons of butter in this at this point. that little squash. Okay, let's see what this looks like now. Well, definitely tastes better. So I've got almost 4 tablespoons of butter in this thing at this point, that little squash. But it does taste like it still needs a little bit more cinnamon. Again, this is your experimentation time. Again, not as much as the first time, just a little few taps in there to see how this is going to happen. Okay, so let's give it another little taste here. Definitely a little better. So you're going to have to experiment a little bit with the butter and cinnamon. If it tastes a little watery, add a little more butter. If once you get the non-watery part, it just tastes kind of pasty bland, then add a little more cinnamon. And just keep going until you get to the point where you like it. Just a little more cinnamon. Mix it up. And then just go slow. Because you don't want it, you can't go backwards after you put ingredients in. I would say that's not too bad. Okay, there you go. There is your squash, cooking squash. So you can take that, serve it, put it in something to carry over to Allison's, and you're all set.